All right, it is time. Welcome to ENC 3310. Dr. B is in the virtual building, here to say hello, welcome to the course. So today's presentation, this will be the kind of video lecture format thingy that I will send out as an announcement. Each week it should cover the main things that we have to do for the week as a way to kind of remind you what's going on. I will use these videos as a way to address any questions that people may have asked, or to give you any supplementary information that I think is really important. So today's presentation will cover what exactly is expository writing. You will learn how to contact Dr. B, that's me, directly. I'm going to talk about the Raise Your Hand Q&A, the Raise Your Hand discussion board for our course, as well as give you a general syllabus overview. This is kind of our syllabus day sort of presentation. I'm going to walk you through the major projects that we're going to do in this course, and then remind you of the sort of workflow, how this class is going to work, and go over some of the weekly tasks that you will have due before Sunday at midnight. So things like first day attendance, make sure that you do that prompt today before midnight, actually, so that you don't get dropped from the class. The Introduce Yourself discussion board, which some of you have already started to do, so thank you. And then I will review the kind of things that you will need to read and do for Module 1.1. So that's all for this week. Alright, so I'm kind of cutting the screen off here a little bit. How about that? Maybe that's a little bit better. Okay. So what is expository writing? Well, the short answer is it's a really terrible name for what's actually an awesome class. So expository writing is the sort of name that's on the books for ENC 3310, and changing that for a state-run institution is pretty hard. So what we've done in the past few years actually is redesign the course content to focus on things that are a little bit more important. Expository writing used to sort of be all over the place, as the name implies. And so this class is actually much more focused now, and we'll be looking very closely at the concept of a discourse community. And we will explore how discourse communities are formed, how they're maintained, and what they're used for. And so in this class, our theme is about bodies. And so the discourse communities that we will be studying, and the ones that I will ask you to focus on and do research on later in the semester, are all focused on this topic or some concept pertaining to the body, however you or we as a class decide to define that. So we will be talking much more about what the body is and what it could mean to different groups, different people. And I want to go to the next slide now. There it is. Okay, great. So there's a video in Module 1 that talks very briefly about what discourse is. I highly recommend you checking that out. I would navigate over to Canvas right now to show you, but for whatever reason, either my internet or my Canvas is being really slow, so I'm not going to waste your time doing that. I know you can find it. How do you contact me? Well, the best way is to send me an email at bennington1@usf.edu. That email should be all over the Canvas site, but yeah, that's your first way to contact me. And if you need to, we can set up a meeting via Zoom or Microsoft Teams, or even by phone call if you'd just like to call and chat with me. Sometimes, though, you might have questions that might benefit everyone else in the class, and so I encourage you to use the Raise Your Hand discussion board as a sort of frequently asked questions space, because if you have the question, then odds are that like 5 to 10 other people in the class are probably also wondering the same thing. So if you ask it there and I answer it, it will help everyone. Also, your classmates will be able to answer the question, and they might see it before I do. So the Raise Your Hand discussion board, really great place for you to ask questions about the class or about assignments, or really if you just want someone's opinion on something. So okay, let's go over the syllabus. I want to focus primarily on student learning outcomes, the texts that we're going to be using, good news. You don't have to buy anything. I will provide all of the readings via PDF. And some of these are whole books, so you're really getting a sweet deal here, I think. I want to talk about the major projects and how they are weighted, and you can see that I have linked here our standard university policies, the Student Accessibility Services website, the SOCAT website, and the website for the Counseling Center. These are all really, really valuable resources, so please be sure to take advantage of them throughout the semester. So let's see if I can navigate. Let's see if Canvas is behaving. What I have open here, and I guess I'll go ahead and show you this first. Make sure you do the first day attendance discussion prompt. This is how I will know that you are a part of the class, and if you don't do it, you risk getting dropped from the course, so please don't do that. Please stay in the course. There's also this discussion board. If you watched my introduction video, there's this whole place here where you can ask me anything you want to. This is about me personally as your instructor, and I feel like this is important because, you know, if you know me and trust me, then we're going to have a better course experience, I think. So feel free to jump in there anytime you want and ask me some questions. And the Introduce Yourself discussion board is where I expect you to upload a little video similar to mine. Just keep it short, keep it brief. I just want to be able to put a face to the name. And here is the Raise Your Hand discussion board for Module 1. I can't remember if yeah, it looks like we're just going to use this one all semester. I'm not sure. So I'll get back to you on that. There might be multiple of these, but honestly, I think we could keep all of our questions in one. So that's where that is. Let's just, while we're here, let's just see what kind of fantastic questions people are asking me. If the page will load, I should have clicked on this as I was talking, so the 5 minutes it takes to load. I don't know. Maybe it's Canvas. It's got to be Canvas, right? Because I'm doing other things on my computer, and it's going just fine. It must just be its first day of classes, everybody's logged in, everybody's doing everything, the server's overloaded. Okay. I guess I'll cut this out of the video. This is very silly. Okay, so here's the Ask Me Anything, Get to Know Dr. B. Let's see what kind of great questions you have. Come on now! Okay, finally, we got some questions loaded. Jared wants to, he's impressed by my Taekwondo reflexes when I grabbed the umbrella that was trying to get me. Why is Taekwondo my martial art of choice? Well, I started when I was 14, and back home there really weren't all that many options for martial arts. I knew that I had some kind of like aggression and body issues and confidence issues, and I thought martial arts was the way to go. And really, the Taekwondo studio that I joined was the only place where you could do full contact sparring, and I was really attracted to that idea, and so I stuck with it for about 15 years. And I am interested in other martial arts, and I have done things like Hapkido. I practice with some martial arts weapons, and when this pandemic starts to become when things start to die down and I feel a little bit safer, I will be doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I want to up my wrestling game and get into the MMA scene. But to answer your question, Taekwondo is sweet because you get to kick like all the time, and kicking is awesome. And Jessica, hi. She really digs my positive energy. What kind of vitamins or supplements do I take? Okay, so I take a probiotic gummy. I'm not sure if it really does anything, but I feel like it helps me digest a little bit better, so I recommend probiotics. I take a standard multivitamin for men, manpower, man vitamins. Again, I don't even know if vitamins do anything, I'll be honest with you. And then other than that, occasionally I, do the protein shake. I just tried this new plant-based vegan whatever something CBD oil protein thing. I can tell you more about that if you want, but that's really just for muscle recovery after heavy workouts. Other than that, the best things I can recommend for upping your positive energy: do yoga. I've started doing yoga about every day, mostly again to help my muscles recover. And find some kind of physical activity that you love, that you can commit to doing every day. That's what really keeps my spirits up. But great question from both of you, and this is really how this works. So there it is. Okay, so here we are on the syllabus page now. Again, I want to focus on just a few things here. Student learning outcomes, I do believe in. This is not throwaway text. I hope that by the end of this semester, you can look at these 4 things and say, yeah, I learned how to do that. Yeah. So be sure to read through this stuff here and kind of keep an eye on it as we move through the projects this semester and see, really kind of, check me and be like, hey, I don't feel like I'm learning how to compose discourse adapted to community conventions, blah, 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 right? But you will, okay? I promise. So like I said, you don't need to purchase anything. Nothing is required from you. I will provide you all of the readings that you need. Woo! That's exciting. Here's the grading scale if you want to look at that. And then this is pretty important. Here is the breakdown for how the projects will be weighted in this course. Project 1 and 2 are both 20% of your final grade. And that's intentional. These first 2 projects are kind of just essays where you really write through some of the major concepts that you've been reading about. And it's kind of a show what you know sort of thing. These actually end up being kind of boring essays to read, and it's just because you're writing about theory basically. Now project 3 on the other hand I think is really exciting, and that's why this is worth 40% of your final grade. You're actually going to create a multimedia project that helps real people enter into the discourse community that you've been studying all semester. So I'll just use myself as an example. Jared wanted to know why Taekwondo. Okay, so if I'm doing project 3 and I'm looking at the embodied discourse community of Olympic style Taekwondo sparring, I might make a presentation that says like, hey, if you're interested in martial arts and you want to give Taekwondo a try, here are the reasons you might, and here are the things that you need to know in order to join this discourse community. And I love this project. I think it's super useful. It's basically like what so many YouTubers do, it's stuff that you come across every day. So, and then one other thing unique to this course is you will be doing 2 mini presentations or mini student-led discussions of the readings that we'll be doing all semester, primarily from the body reader, but there are others. And this is a way for you to sort of call the shots. You read and come up with 5 discussion questions and make a little short video where you sort of reading rainbow the thing and tell us the highlights as you see them. And then you get to incorporate a show and tell component where you bring in another piece of media. It could be a news story, it could be something from pop culture that's relevant to what we're reading that week. So I'll explain all of these in more detail as we go, but this is pretty much in a nutshell what we're doing this semester. This course description is probably already outdated, or I'm sorry, this schedule is probably already outdated. So my advice to you is make sure you're looking at the modules and going in order. That's the best way to stay on the up and up for what we're doing in this class. Here are your standard university policies, a link to the writing studio, COVID-19 procedures, late and incomplete stuff. Yeah, anything you really need to know, it's all here. And then linked into the slideshow as well. Look, it's freezing. Look at this. This is terrible. Come on, Canvas. So just briefly, I do want to talk to you a bit about the major projects and give you an overview of what they look like. Project 1 simply asks, what is a discourse community? And so you will use the knowledge that you've gained from the readings and the exercises that we're doing to help answer that question, as well as apply that knowledge to a specific bodily discourse community that you'll be studying. So again, to return to my Taekwondo example, I would explain that a discourse community follows these 8 guidelines from Swales' criteria. You'll read all about that. And then I would map them onto the, Olympic-style Taekwondo discourse community in Tampa as seen through this particular organization or whatever, right? So that's what that project's all about. The second one just asks, how do they work? So you look again at a specific discourse community and you start answering questions about genre and how they communicate and what they're for. And then, of course, Project 3, like I mentioned, is how can I join this discourse community? This one's the really exciting one. Okie dokie hokey pokies. So, I'll go ahead and say I don't intend on videos always being this long. I will get better at pausing if I'm doing screen recording and things are moving slowly. So, anyway, here's our workflow reminder and our weekly tasks for today, 8:24 to 8:30. Everything is usually due by Sunday before midnight. I will let you know if that changes for some reason. Like in the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to be doing a sort of task where I want you to make a post on a discussion board by Wednesday so that people have a chance to reply to it by Sunday. But usually, everything's due Sunday before midnight. I will make announcements like this on Mondays where I include a video. Ba-ding! I don't know if you could hear that. I'll, do my weekly videos on Mondays so that I have a chance to look at all your stuff and reply to it. And throughout the week, you're supposed to contact me or your classmates in the ways that I've shown you to ask for help. Make sure the first thing you do today, you have to do it before midnight. Do the first day attendance prompt. Make sure to do it now. If you don't do it, you'll probably get dropped from the course, and that would be bad because my course is awesome. Okay, make sure you watch my sweet videos and then introduce yourself with your own little video. I want you to get in the habit of this and figuring out the best way to do it for you, because when you do your student-led discussions or your little mini presentations, I will want a video component so that we can all see and hear you. For this week, Module 1.1, you have some tasks. It looks like a lot of reading, and in some ways it is, in some ways it isn't. There are a bunch of rhetoric readings. I want you to focus on the first one from our textbook, Rhetorical Writing, or Rhetorical Approach to Workplace Writing. That's a nice overview of rhetoric. And then you'll see two in the middle, one by Lloyd Bitzer and one by Richard Batts. They're these sort of old school dudes from the 60s and 70s that really debated about the concept of the rhetorical situation. Please skim through those and see if you can pick out the major highlights, but really focus and read the Grant Davies one, because what happens in that is that he reviews Bitzer and Vatz and all the other people that weighed in on rhetorical situation, and I think gives you the best, easiest to read version of that stuff. So I would make sure to focus on the first and the last reading in that group. There is a detailed description of Project 1 because I very quickly sort of went over it. I do want to warn you that the detailed description of Project 1 is not a blueprint or a recipe for how you should write that essay. I will provide you with a more detailed kind of outline for how to succeed with that essay, because last time I taught this course, people really wrote some stinkers, and it wasn't their fault. They were following the instructions as they're written, but it really led to just kind of a boring read, and I know we can all do better, so I will make sure to make something and give it to you to help you out with that. But for now, read that detailed description so that you have a handle on what Project 1 is going to ask you to do. And then there are 3 exercises. In this class, since we're going to be doing a lot of different types of readings, you will typically be asked to do a weekly reading summary that combines and synthesizes all of the different ideas that you've been exposed to. You know what, I would recommend actually starting down here with this style corner exercise, because it's all about how to write an effective summary. You will be doing these quote-unquote style corner things throughout the semester, and those are really to help you focus on the sort of basics. So things like writing summaries, incorporating evidence, using quotations, things like that. I think they're really fun and cool. I designed most of them, and a lot of people use them and seem to like them. So maybe start there before doing your reading summary. And then there is an additional exercise where you will perform a rhetorical analysis of everyday communication. So remember, these exercises are lumped into your mini presentations and student-led discussions as, I believe, 20% of your grade. So do take them seriously. I don't think that any of them are fluff or, sort of wasted space. They are really designed to help you better understand the major concepts and succeed when it comes to doing the major projects. Okay, that's going to do it, folks. That's pretty much all we need to cover for today. I look forward to watching your introductions and answering any fun questions you might have for me. Be sure to email me if you are concerned about anything or if you need to know something about the course. And if you think it's something that everyone else could benefit from, please post it in the Raise Your Hand discussion board and I'll answer it there. That'll do it. So I will check in with you next week. Good luck and see you then.